It's a glitch, bro. It's gotta be a glitch. If we all feel that way,
he won't even. Honestly, I was like, don't send it. He didn't even respond to me. He didn't say anything. I think he froze.
oh no.
We lost.
No,
Joe.
you
I was like, oh, that was good. That was good. That was
You
good.
fucking got me, man. Got you. Philosophical questions. Does hardship make a person stronger? If
Yes.
so, under what circumstances and conditions, and to what point is it too much hardship? If not, what makes a person stronger?
Struggle. Absolutely, hardship and struggle. 100%. Because when you have to earn something, you appreciate it more than when it's just given to you. Or that's just been proven time and time again throughout history. Like, look at all these like rich kids that are born that don't appreciate shit, or like, just a stereotype of that. When you look at people that come from nothing and earn something, and how much more respectful they are, appreciate people, and just whatever.
I think it
So,
definitely
yeah,
humbles
100%.
somebody too.
100%. That's
Yeah.
why I always say that's like the biggest thing I always threaten my kids with is I'm always like, all this stuff, I'll take it all away. All these toys, all this, I'll take it all away in a second. First thing I'll do is take away their iPad. Second thing I'll do is take away their toys. 100% all the time. 1, 2, because that's, you know what I mean? That's how you show appreciation. You have to see that there's people that don't have the things that you have. Waking up every day and appreciating the things that you have, and knowing that there's someone that doesn't have as good at those things, is better than looking at yourself and being like, damn, there's someone that has things that are better than me. My life sucks.
Right.
You know
Being
what I mean?
grateful for what you have and appreciating what you have, what you've earned, opposed to it being given to you, and
making yourself
not
feel
knowing.
up here rather than down here is the way that is. Because when you think of all these things of, damn, these people don't have this, but I have this, and I appreciate this, and I'm blessed for this, and blah blah blah, makes you feel like you're up here. But then when you're thinking about the people that are way past you, it makes you feel like you're fucking down here. It's all a matter of what you're focusing on and what your perspective is.
That is
100%.
correct.
100%, bro. Give me another one.
Okay.
Shoot, Goose.
What is freedom to you? This is a 2-part question.
The ability to do whatever you want when you want.
Okay. Now, is there a difference between financial freedom and just freedom?
Yes.
Because here in America, we're free. We could say what we
have
want.
freedom, but we don't have financial freedom.
See, but at the same time, I feel like we're given the illusion of freedom, but we're still slaves to a lot of things.
No, you have freedom. You have the choice to do whatever you want every day. Like, you have the choice as an American to wake up and choose to do nothing and be homeless. You have the choice to do whatever the fuck you want. Like,
You think homeless is a choice?
Absolutely. For some people, it isn't. There are exceptions to the rule always, and there are circumstances. And it sucks because in more recent times, I do feel like that exception has become bigger because of things that have happened, like with our economy, between COVID and all other kinds of economy crashes, wars, and just all kinds of different shit. So there are different other reasons, but yeah, I think that there are plenty of people that choose that. Yeah. I've definitely met homeless people that are happy with the life that they have. Don't need anything more, just appreciate whatever, breathing every day and fucking getting their fucking, meal and whatever, just making sure they're good. Some people live for just that type of life. Like, sorry to interrupt you, but we've talked about that type of life. You know what I mean? Like, not worrying about going to work and all the different stresses that we put in front of ourselves, rather than just living how we intended to live. And sometimes I mend people that are like that do it like to that fullest of the extent, not in a sense of like in the middle of the city, but like, dude, think about these people that do like van life or like RV life or like whatever. Like, some of these fucking van conversions are fucking sick now. And these people live in the middle of the woods.
Something like that.
They live in the middle of the woods on low income, but low budget. and it's easy. They budget everything. They make sure like they're good, and as long as they're okay, they're okay. You know what I mean? Like that's a great way to live. It's a peaceful way to live. It's not a rich way to live. You might not have all the biggest luxuries and have like a lot of money in the bank to be like, fuck, I want to go to this island and this and this and this. But like appreciating that you could wake up on like a fucking mountain or wherever the fuck you want or whatever, like, and then appreciating that is fucking, it's all again perspective.
I think that's dope. I think that we as a society are free because we live in America. We could say what we want. We could basically do what we want. We could get whatever job we want, marry whoever we want, so forth and so forth. But at the same time, we're still slaves to each other, and we're slaves to society. We're slaves to technology, and we're slaves to money, of all things.
A slave
You
to
just
money,
said
yes,
something
but the
about
other things I don't agree with because you're not a slave to that. Again, that's still a choice.
can you
That's more
go a
influence.
month without your phone?
But that's what I said. That's more influence. That's not a slave to that. That's an influence to make you feel or want that. A slave means that you don't have a choice. You have a choice to put down that phone. You have a choice to whatever. You're choosing to do that. So that's an influence. That's not slavery. That's still freedom.
Touche. Okay, so if freedom is simply being able to do whatever you want, are animals more free than humans?
Mm-hmm.
Because they live by the law of the jungle,
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah,
don't
they're
think
definitely more free, but the difference is with that is we're not on the food chain. They are. Like we don't have
we're
to
not
worry
on
about
their
that
food
type.
chain,
We're
right?
not on any food chain. Humans are not on a food chain. Like we don't have like an animal has to constantly worry about and fear that they could possibly die at any moment to be killed, to be eaten. We don't have that fear. You know what I mean? Like humans are the top link of the food chain. We do that to all the animals. So of whichever ones that we decide that we deem worthy of eating. But you know what I mean? So like it's just because like since we're at that level and we make that decision, like it's a different life. But like, yeah, are they free in the sense of yeah, they don't have any of the stresses, the same like things like that we put on. They have a better life, a better valued life, 100%. It's also a less valued life
It's
because of
either
the level
kill
on
or
the
be
food
killed,
chain.
though. Yeah.
Exactly. So it depends on which way you're looking at it. But I mean, yeah, I would say they have a more free life. Yeah, 100%. They
What does
can
it
do
mean?
whatever they want.
What does it mean to live a good life?
I think a good life is to live a happy life. So like just to if you could say at the end of your life, like some people, and I love this like last scene from Shameless when Frank Gallagher is like talking about like you
Yeah.
only get one life. Live it to the fullest and party and this and that and have fun. I know I did. And now it's like to what extent of like that. You know what I mean? Like to me, I had that part of my life, and now I'm enjoying the dad and family part of my life. And then at one point, I'm sure me and Karen will enjoy the retired life and, whatever, like the different stages and stuff. I just enjoy each part that I am blessed to be a part of. Like that's my journey. These are the parts that are a part of my life. I do. I really am someone that has like become to wake up every day and just appreciate each day. There's so
And be
many times that
grateful
I
for
look
it.
at, like on the iPhone, it makes you those for you memory loops
Hmm.
automatically. It'll be like portrait videos or this, or like the year 2022 or whatever, all this different shit. I love watching those. And when I watch those, I always watch them like I'm like I always have that like smile of like damn, like I watched the one recently of this year and I was like, damn, we did a lot of good shit this year. Like there was I would never like thought we
Yeah.
took that many good pictures together or this and that or just whatever. Those are the thoughts that run through my head. Like those are those positive thoughts that like, and it was all true stuff, but it was all shit that made me feel so good. And I don't know. I've definitely become very big in that type of mindset, thanks to you.
Oh, thank you, Frank.
I forgot what your original question was and where I started talking about this though now.
What does it mean to live a good life?
Oh, but yeah, so like to me, like that's living a good life. You know what
I
I mean?
think
Like if I died tomorrow to look back and see all these different happy times and all the different things that I had and all the different memories and like the things that I've overcome. Like look at how I said to you, like the one episode and I was talking about like, oh, I have a sob story. I could tell this. And you were like, well, some people would call that a what did
oh
you say?
yeah, what the fuck? Called you like a success story because of
Yes, a
Rex
success story.
riches.
And yes, exactly. And so like it's true. Again, it's all about perception. Like, yeah, if you think about it, that is a success story. Like when I went back and thought about it and I heard that again, I'm like, Yeah, that's true. Like I could like talk about that as like a success story, rather than like looking at it that way. And it's just another way that I was looking at something negative, But that was something I was looking at negative too, because like the death of my mom and like all that stuff. So that's like a little different and harder to. But like again, something else that you made me think of that way. That like now I'm like, yeah, true. Like that's a success story. Like success story. Like sleeping on people's couches to like being okay and
Get
having
to
my
where
own
you gotta be.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like it's fucking amazing. So yeah, I think that like having a good
I
life,
think
right? You
that,
said good life?
yeah. So not to cut you off, but you brought
Oh,
up,
okay.
you said something before. You're like, when I die, people say he lived a good life. It's all, everything we do in life is based on perception. You could think you're living a great, I'm living my best life, have a great fucking time with it. But in somebody else's eyes, who either has more than you or has less than you, they'll judge you based on what they see. And that's what everybody does. Everybody judges everybody internally. It's up to them if they vocalize it or not. But what you
Yeah.
said is like, when people pass away, it's like, for the unfortunate kids who pass away at 22, they're like, oh, they had so much more life to live. They lived a great life. They went traveling. They had a good family, whatnot. They were a good person. But then if somebody passes away at 94, you're like, oh, they lived a good life because you had 94 years on this planet and you accomplished as much as you could. To answer my question is, of what does it mean to live a good life? I think it's about how you affect other people,
Hmm.
not so much, obviously everyone's living their own life, but not
That's
so
what I was about
much,
to say when I was going to try and like cut in there was exactly about how genuine you are, and exactly that means
you
how
know,
you affect other people. So no, yeah,
because
absolutely.
there are people at 22 and 96 who pass away who are fucking assholes. You know what I'm saying? And they've always been a dickhead to everyone. They're stubborn. They're obnoxious. They're in.
Like the what's that movie? The old guy that's on the porch that he calls them gooks and stuff in the movie. The fucking old
Robin
racist guy.
Williams.
No, not Robin Williams. Fucking Clint Eastwood.
Oh,
Um,
Gran Torino.
yes, like Gran Torino, like
Yeah,
like that fucking guy.
right. I think that, yeah, like living a
Like when
good
you were
life
describing
is,
that, that's exactly
yeah,
what I
that's what
was
you thought of,
picturing.
100%.
Oh yeah.
I
How
just
many
feel like
people are
it's
gonna miss
also the
somebody like that?
influence on
You
other
know what I mean?
people. What do you mean?
Absolutely. No, but like how many people are gonna miss somebody like that
Right.
compared to
So
somebody
now
that's
that's
like
another way.
genuine, positive, good, this and that, like always there for you, whatever, whether it was emotionally or this and that, whatever it is. Like yeah, so I guess to kind of change, like you're right, it would be a long and happy life. Like if you could
Right.
live a long and happy life, because yes, if you were somebody like us that does think that way or feel that way or talks that way or whatever, but you did die like at 41 of a heart attack,
God rest his soul.
it fucking would tear people up. It would tear fucking people up. Rest in
It's
peace,
true.
Shark.
It happens. And it's what's fucked up. But at the same time, it is what it is, as I mentioned to you. Like, life goes on. After you
Tupac,
pass away, life will still go on. It depends on the
no,
impact and the influence you had on the people around you. And that's a good life.
Tupac said this, Kevin Hart said this, so many people have said this. Exactly that. No matter what happens, that sun is still going to get up in the morning and set at night. No matter what you do because of what happens, and like as sad as I want to be for what happened, and as sad as I was, I've had my moments and stuff, but I'm not the type of person to let something like that control me because exactly at the end of the day, I know the sun ain't going to stop for me.
Through all the
Those
rain and
days
the
are gonna
pain, all the
those
struggles and
days are gonna
hardships,
keep
you got to
fucking going
remember to
by.
smile.
Those days are gonna keep going by. And if I keep sitting there thinking and dwelling on that shit and staying on the bad shit, no matter what, those days are gonna go by. And if I'm sitting here dwelling, I'm not doing nothing.
Nope.
And I'm sure that all of those
You're just,
people that
you're
I
just,
know that have
you're
passed
just,
on would
you're
rather
just,
me be doing something than nothing.
what's the word I'm looking for? You're just absorbing all the negative energy of dwelling that shit.
Mm-hmm. All you're
Okay.
doing.
Next question to you. Does fate exist?
Fuck yeah.
Okay. If it does, do we have free will?
Yeah. I
To
think
what
fate
extent?
exists to the extent like if someone was meant to be placed in your life, that's fate.
Okay.
But over
Okay.
the time of the relationship of being a friend with that person, if you chose to walk away from that friendship, that's free will.
That's a good explanation. That's good. I like that.
In
Because a
my
lot of the times it's like there, like in Terminator 2, there's no fate but what we make. At the same time, I believe in fate. I believe things happen for a reason. do we have free will? Maybe there's the illusion of free will, but at the same time, I think we have free will because
Yeah,
we're
because
choosing
that
what we're doing
situation
every
can,
day.
yeah, because the situation can be placed in front of you, fate, but then it's your decision to either accept it, choose it, go with it, or go against it, walk away and say no. So yeah, we always have that free will. And like the reason I said it the way I said it the first time is because like it's how I feel with like Big Mike. Like, dude, I've always said with you too, like after my mom has passed away, it's been 18 years. I felt that there has been certain people that have met for certain reasons after she has passed. People that have
Right.
guided me in certain directions, the ways that I needed to go to make sure that I was okay. That was her being around. I believe that that was him at one point. I do. He's literally my best friend at one point. We don't talk now as the relationship got fucked up. Yeah. We did recently just talk for Christmas. I did tell him about Lou and like we kind of like briefly spoke over text. Again, he didn't get back to me after like I did leave a message out and then he didn't get back to me. That's how it always was. So do we talk anymore like that? No. That was my decision to walk away after. That was my free
Right.
will. So yes, do I believe that he was placed there for a reason? Absolutely. Do I think that that was fate? Absolutely. We were best friends for a long time. A lot of memories, a lot of things he helped me through, a lot of fucking permanent scars that'll fucking stay there as memories. You know what I mean? Absolutely. I don't mean it to say as scars in like a negative way, but I
I
mean
got you.
like, you know what I mean? When things happen to you throughout life, that's like how I call it, like a permanent scar. Like it's a permanent part of you that like goes with you. So yeah, that's a permanent part of me that's always going to be with me. And like even now, like I tell him, I love you, bro. Like, you know, you're my boy always. So I still feel that way. But yeah, was it my free will to walk away because of the friendship of how it became and what happened and things that I did to him and things that he did to me and blah blah blah? Absolutely. Will I still always fucking never wish him any harm and he's still my brother forever? Absolutely. If God forbid anything fucking serious ever happened and he needed somebody and he called me, I'd fucking be there. But do we talk on the regular anymore? No. But that's that situation to me. Like that was the fate of us meeting and the free will of me walking away.
Mm. Okay. So, do you think the meaning of life is the same for animals as it is for humans, based on what you said before?
No. I think that it's supposed to be, but I think that we've changed it.
Through generations, you're saying? Or
Yeah,
just through humanity?
through humanity, through changes, through agenda, through control, through I mean, I you know what I believe, dude. Like I do. I believe that like the simulation that we sort of so speak of is that we worry about work and bills and all these things that were placed in front of us by other people. Other people make you worry about all the things that you worry about on a day-to-day basis. So you don't worry about how you're actually supposed to just live your life and be. The things you're supposed to regularly normally appreciate or go about or how we should really be living is not how we really live, which is why we are all quote unquote slaves. Like we all work for whatever wage for our time, and the time that we have left over for ourselves is minimal to keep us to, oh, we need this downtime to relax. So we do something that doesn't really matter. So that way we never have time to figure out what the real thing is. That's what the simulation is with the Matrix. You know what I mean? So have we placed those things in front of ourselves? Yeah. So to spend, so to speak, because other humans place them in front of us, whoever you want to call them is up to you, gods, Illuminati, whatever the fuck we've labeled them as at this point. But you know what I mean? Like, I just, yeah, do I believe that that's the case? Absolutely, 100%. Do I think that those are the lives we're supposed to be intended to live? No. No, I think like how fucking cavemen lived is how we should be living, or maybe not even necessarily cavemen, but like, so to speak, in like the trade. Like when we had the trade stage or like age or whatever you want to call that,
Yeah.
like that era of time, like that's where I think we should go back to. I believe in like fucking Die Hard, the fire sale, like fucking bring that on. Let somebody fucking wipe out all of fucking technology and make us start from the ground over again and start from people that have fucking skills to be able to trade things and manufacture things and fucking whatever. Let's go back to that fucking time and then not let us fucking be controlled by fucking paper that somebody said was
Facts.
valuable.
Facts. Okay, so based on that, I got two questions for you. Based on what you just said, the first one is, do you think humanity is headed in the right or wrong direction?
Wrong
And
direction.
the set, you think it's the wrong direction? I'm going to agree with you. Okay, so we could just move on to the next question. Um, How do you
That's why I
think
say this is a
human
really great. I'm loving this conversation. But okay, keep going.
how do you think the human species will go extinct? Because it's
Self
inevitable.
termination.
Okay, but in what way? Because I'll agree with you. I mean, there's always the whole like, oh, there's a fucking asteroid heading for planet Earth. Oh,
No, like I think it'll
let's
be a
send a
self
rocket to it
extinction
to
thing. I
deflect
think it'll
it.
be. I think it'll be. At the end of the day, we can't stop having wars. Well, no matter what two countries it is, throughout the war or throughout the wars, we have shown that in the world we cannot stop having wars.
That's
It's
right.
just
Because
not
war
possible.
equals money,
But not
and
even
it's
that war
funded from
equals
both
money.
sides.
Yes, because I believe that's why it's instigated for money.
Mm-hmm.
But not even just that war equals money. Like just the fact of that, like every time one war ends, another one begins at some point soon, and there's not
Mm-hmm.
really much in between time ever. Even if it's in a different location, like I said, or whatever, like there's really not much in between time in the sense of around the world for wars. I think at some point that's going to be worse and worse and
You think
worse.
that's going to
Like
be our demise,
everything else
like a
has gotten
nuclear
worse
war?
and worse and worse. Economy always got worse. Like humanity is getting worse. Like everything is on the decline because again, I agree with what Mr. White said that like we are not an evolved species. We are a de-evolved
Yep.
species. I do believe that there were smarter humans, bigger humans, like all of the above of all of that shit. And I do believe that we are on the decline. I don't believe that it's all of us. I do believe that it's the majority, but I think that that's what they want because that's how you get the control. When you're keeping
Mm-hmm.
people dumber and slower and stupider and whatever it's not, that's how it's easier to control people. And you only do that over mass fucking generations of time with all the stuff how we've talked about in previous episodes of like book burning through history and rewriting history. And like, oh, if you really look back, some of the stuff that was changed throughout history in the sense of like how we look at maps and how we look at bones and different types of things throughout history, it was all changed a few hundred years ago. That's not a long
Yeah.
time. That's like 4 generations, bro. 4 or 5 generations is like a couple hundred years ago. You know what I mean? Think about it. 200-300 years, everybody lives like maybe 70-80 years old on an average nowadays, right? I think it's like 70 something. What's the average lifespan for a human nowadays?
I'll Google it, but I want to say it's like 82 or something like that.
I was gonna say it was in the 70s, but yeah. So you know what I mean? You're talking like 70s, like so that's only like 5 generations for a couple hundred years, man. That's fucking not that long. And even if you're talking 500 years, it's only a few more generations. Like
True.
it's not that much. Like when you're talking about these like long bloodlines that we talk about, these $1 million families and stuff, or $1 billion families that we talk about, like you're
Now,
only talking about 8 generations, dude. That's only like a couple of great fathers. You know what I mean? Like that's
yeah.
not that much.
So life expectancy for males in America is 75, and for females, it's 81.
That's what I said, around mid 70s.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And like that's what I'm saying. Like it's not so like when people like Joe are like, oh, that's so crazy. It's really not that far-fetched to think about. I get that it's hard to believe because the fact has never been there, but I don't think that it's that far-fetched. It's hard to believe. I don't think it's far-fetched
I
because when
got
you
you.
really put it down like that with parts in history and you label it with different events and you put that timeline together of different things and you realize like how short it was compared to like when we go to school, right? This is part of the whole fucking programming, going to school, putting all these fucking kids in under fucking paid program by people that don't fucking care. That's not a good way to educate. Like you have all these systems of all these school districts and all this like failed systems in my sense, but you teach them in the sense of as they get older about these different moments in history that were like way too. We learn about the pyramids and the Civil War and this and that, like blah blah blah, and like all different like things like that
The
throughout like history
Spanish
class and stuff.
conquistadors.
But you're not learning about the stuff that was from a few hundred years ago. Why?
No.
Why are you not learning about that stuff? Why are you not learning about the fucking like Christopher Columbus? Is obviously we've heard time and time again that story is like misleading information. There's so many facts about it that have been debunked and this and that, blah, blah, blah. But they still teach that story because that was one of the lie stories that they had to have to like fill in that gap of time period where they were trying to change history. And now that social media has come out and there's the web and like all this stuff and people
That
have actually
information
had
is
time to
more obtainable to you because it's at the tip of your fingers.
certain people have found that And now
Certain
that
things are
that's
coming up to surface.
and now that that has been one thing that has been canceled or whatever you want to call it from that cancel culture bullshit. I'm happy that that was one of the things that was canceled and people like wanted to discredit Christopher Columbus and like this now. Like, good. That whole story was fucked up. It wasn't all fucking real information. But once you realize that and you see that, okay, well, now that was something that was debunked. What else should be debunked? I'm not like the person like Joe to be like, oh, like fuck that thing. There's no way that all this things
Nah,
up. No,
not
no, no.
possible. I don't believe
If
it.
there's one or two things that came out and this was like, okay, well, what else? What else? Because I'm sorry, with anything, like if you're in a relationship, once a cheater, always a cheater. Once a liar, always a
100%.
liar. Once this, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, again, there are always exceptions to the rule. But as a whole, everyone's telling the truth always to us. Like everyone's
Yeah.
giving us no. So if this is something we're finding out, what else do we need to find out? And
So
again, do we know all of it? No. Is every conspiracy theory right? No. But does that mean all of them are wrong? No.
no, that's what I was gonna get at. So a kind of a side question, but do you think people can change?
Yeah, I do.
Because you said once a cheater, always a cheater. Once a liar,
Well,
always a
no,
liar.
so that's why I said there's always exceptions to the rule. Like, dude, I've done bad things.
I know.
I've no, like
I was with you
I've
for some of them.
no, but I'm being serious. Like, I've done bad things. Like, even like a few years back, like a
You
while
don't got to
back,
get
like
into it, but I know what you're
no,
talking
but
about.
I'm saying like a few years back, a while back, like I made some terrible decisions for things that I should not have done in my like own family, in my own realm, the things that I've built, and I shouldn't have done those things. Should I have been forgiven? I don't know. Was I? Yes. Have I done everything that I can ever since to change those things and be a better person? 100%.
Okay.
Because I am someone that did realize the possibilities of what I could lose and what I was doing was stupid. And I knew I needed to make a life change and I knew I needed to be a better person. 100%.
So
Are
now
there people that can be like that? Do I believe that? Yes, I am one of them. 100%. Now, does that make me an exception to the rule? I do feel that way. Are there a lot of people that don't change? Yeah. It depends on the person that you are and the person you want to be for the
right.
reasons that you want to change.
I
Is there
think that
someone
people
that
can
made you
change. It's up to them if they want to be a better person.
yeah.
Exactly.
Is there someone that made you want to change? Is there a reason that made you want to change? Is there an event, something that happened? There's got to be a reason, whatever it is, whether it's a person, whether it's for yourself, whether it's because something that happened to you, whether it's because of something you realized, something that finally clicked, whatever it is, there's a reason behind it. So yes, can people change? Absolutely. Do most people change? Nah, no.
I think that it's a little
Actually, you know what?
unfair to be judged in that situation as like once a cheater, always a cheater or something like
Yeah.
that.
Well, no,
Because
I just say that because that's
right,
like
but even in a relationship, I've been cheated on. I can say confidently that I don't want to I'm not going to get into it, but have I cheated while in a relationship? Never. Have I dated or went out with another girl when I was kind of like loosely seeing a girl? Yes. If there's no conversation about exclusivity, then yes, I feel like even if she would have went out on a date, I would be jealous. But I'm like, you know what? We didn't have that talk. We didn't have that conversation. So you
that
can't label
sounds
someone
like
a cheater like that.
that sounds like your magnify glass in the fine print there.
I'm just trying to cross my T's and dot my I's
Well, that's what I'm
here.
saying. It sounds like you're like lawyering up on that one, like in the sense of like morally, if you were talking to one, should you have been like talking to another, even though there wasn't a talk of exclusivity?
Okay.
Morally, all right.
You're going to
But in
ask
the
me, now I'm
sense
going to
of
get into
like
depth about it.
lawyering up, but that's what I'm saying. In the sense of lawyering up, in the sense of like technicalities, yeah, no, I get you. You're right. Like,
But
hey,
I've
this
only
wasn't
done that.
whatever. We
I've only
never
done
talked
that when
about
I
it.
was leaving a relation, like a dating a girl when it was at the end of the terms or we weren't really like on a lot and was more off and was fading out. That's kind of when you got to be like, all right, this isn't working out. What are my other options here? If this girl's not or this guy is not into me, what am I going to do? I'm not going to sit around until we both officially sit down and say, okay, I don't want to see you anymore.
Yeah, I
You
hear
know,
that.
because nobody does it anymore. That's society. But now, based on this
That's
conversation, I do have two other questions for you. I'm
okay.
loaded with questions tonight, in case you
No,
haven't noticed.
honestly, keep it fired. I'm liking this. Like, I'll keep answering
Let's
shit
keep it
all day like
rolling.
this because I'm with it.
Where does your self worth come from? And we'll start with that. Okay. And by what standards
Well, yeah,
do
so
you
that's what I was
judge
just gonna
yourself?
say. Well,
What
so
standards do you judge yourself, and where does your self-worth come from?
that's funny because that's exactly what I was about to say. So I think self-worth comes from standards. I think how you
Okay.
determine your self-worth comes from the standards that you set on your own personal life. Number one. And number two, what was the second part? I'm sorry. Second question. Standards what?
What standards do you judge yourself, and what was the other
So
one?
what standards
Where
do
does
you
your
judge it?
self-worth come from?
So what standards do you judge yourself on? I mean, that depends on the person, but like, I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. I don't
So
know.
it does definitely depend on the person. And I have to say that for this growing up, I could say with confidence that I judge myself by the standards that my father has set for me. You know, a lot of people can't say that, but I'm proud to say that I do. My father has set the bar for me with standards of self-worth and, you know, who I am as a person, who I want to be, and that's why I reflect because I'll bro till the day I fucking die. I'll hear my father in the back of my head saying, "If you think it's wrong, it probably is. If you have to think about it, it's probably not where you want to be." Type of situation, you know? And I gotta say that that's got me through a lot of shit because there's been times where you can go far left or far right, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, is this wrong? And then I'm like, you know what? It is fucking wrong. Couple days later, couple weeks later, whatever the case is, if I don't act on this on the situation I'm in, but I'm sitting here thinking to myself, okay, is this wrong? If I'm questioning it, that's my morals. You know, you shouldn't question your own morals because you're supposed to have a conscience, which is supposed to teach you right from wrong. So I do feel that that's how I would judge my own myself. And then my self-worth, I don't really know how to answer this question because self-worth can be used in many different ways. But where does your self-worth come from? I'm going to go with family, you know, or like characteristics and traits that are built within you, traditions or what your family has influenced on yourself.
I
Not
like that
specifically blood
characteristics and
family,
traits.
but friends who are in your circle.
I like that characteristics and traits. I like that.
How
That's a good way to put
replaceable
it.
do you think you are?
Very.
You think
Everybody.
you're very
I Bro,
replaceable?
there's 8 billion people in the world. You think you're not replaceable?
Okay, well, when they say they come a dime a dozen, especially in like the restaurant industry, I get
There's
that. But I'm
eight
talking about you and
billion
your
people
soul.
in the world.
I only care about maybe 12 of them.
Okay, but
Okay.
that's because you've only met less than 100,000.
Well, yes and
Eight
no.
billion compared to
Touche,
even if
touche.
you met 1 million people in your life. 8 billion, you're talking eight
Yeah, you're
thousand
right.
millions. Like it's fucking insane. Like it's insane the amount of people that you haven't met. So just because of the odds, yeah, dude, yeah. There's fucking
Okay.
there's 5 other people at least that acts exactly like you out there in the world. Do they
This
all
is
look
true.
like you? Are they all white? Are they all fucking black hair? No, like all that stuff. No, they might look totally different than you, but there are at least 5 to 100 other Dannys out there in the sense of how you act, how you are as a person, whatever. There's at least fucking 500,000 other assholes like me.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, like there's definitely, I mean, aside from that, everybody's got a doppelganger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's things like that that have been talked about and stuff. So like, yeah, absolutely, 100%.
What is the most important goal every person should have, in your opinion?
What's the word I'm looking for?
I'll tell you mine.
Appreciation.
Facts. That's the most important goal everyone should have. I think, and I don't know if this is
I
the
think
correct.
it's the most valuable thing you can give yourself.
Okay, absolutely.
I
Gratitude.
do. Great. Yes, exactly. That's the word I was looking for. Gratitude. You've heard this before too. But that's it. It's true. It's true, dude. Like that's in that motivational shit that I said I was listening to in the mornings and shit. Gratitude is the best gift that you can give yourself. 100% to be fucking grateful.
I
Grateful
think
for
of
the things again that, like I said earlier, that you do have over that other people have. I'm sure that even out of our listeners, just out of our listeners, let's say 30 people listen to this episode between YouTube and Buzzsprout, maybe even 50. Hey, maybe we get 100. Out of those 100 people, I'm sure at least 90 of them can look at their situation and say they have a better situation. Actually, probably all 100 can look at their situation and say they have a better situation than someone else because they were able to stream our show.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people that think about it, dude. There's people. I watched this video on TikTok of this guy that went in like the jungle in like Africa somewhere, and it was like this tribe. Like it was him and his buddy, and they had like cameras and stuff, and they all like came out of the bushes and were like, and then it came and like brought them in and like took them to the right to the middle of the village and like whatever. You think people like that fucking got it better than you? Any one of you people that listen to our show, you think someone like that lives in that fucking country has it better than you do right now on
Well,
your device
listen,
that you're listening to
it's
our show and this that?
it's
No
based
way.
on what you think happiness is. Maybe that's just their tribe. That's their way of living. Who are
No,
we to
no,
judge them and say
absolutely. They
who lives
probably
a
have a
better
better
life?
fucking life worth than we do in the sense of like how we're supposed to be living and all the stuff we were just talking about. But I'm just saying, like, as in the sense of like how we were talking about grateful and being more grateful. If you're someone that has grown up in our fucking type of environment and the things that look again, the influence that we have and all the people that listen to our show, I'm telling you again, we get 100 listens on this episode. 100 of you probably would be happier if you had a fucking mansion and a dope car with a jet ski and a boat and fucking pool table and a pool and a hot tub and fucking steam room and like all that shit. Everyone would fucking be happier with all that shit. Why? Because we've been influenced to see that that is the better way of living since we've been born. So when you take it like that, going back to what I said, yeah, dude, fucking, what's the word again?
Gratitude.
Gratitude. Being more grateful is definitely the biggest fucking gift we could all give ourselves. 100%.
Okay. Next question. If someone you loved was killed in front of you, but someone created a copy of them that was perfect right down to the atomic level, would they still
Wait,
be the same person, or would you love them as much?
say that again. I'm sorry. I
Okay.
lost focus for a second.
All gravy. You want to take a second?
No. Go ahead.
If someone you loved was killed in front of you, but someone was able to make an exact copy of them right down to the atomic level, would they still be the same person, and would you love them just as much?
Down to the atomic level, you mean like down to like the genetic
Genetic makeup, yeah.
no, they would not be the same person. And could
Now,
I
do you
love them the same? I would want to love them the same, but I think that depends on how things go from that
okay?
point on.
Let's say that their memories were also transferred into their body. In that situation, I think the only difference is
Yeah, if the
between the
memories were
two
transferred, then
would be
absolutely.
consciousness, but it would be consciousness would be the only difference between them.
Oh, like if they had the same memories, but they came back and was like a total different person, like an asshole
No,
or
no, no, no.
something.
Same person, same everything. It's just that it's a different conscious. You know, they have the same memories, they remember doing shit with you, but it's not you clearly saw someone die that was right in front of you, and then they're rejuvenated, whatever, reborn.
If it was the same of everything else that you said, then yeah, to me they're the same person.
Okay. If you could become immortal on the condition that you would never ever be able to die or kill yourself, would you choose immortality? So you would live forever.
Yeah, just to see things change and grow wisdom and try and pass things down,
So that
try and
means you
help
would
figure out the
outlive
best
all your
things of the
family, all
world.
your kids, all
Yeah,
your
just
friends
if you were given the gift to be
of
the
eternal
option
life.
to have that and you were actually given that gift to do it, yeah, I would want to do it because again, maybe you could start to figure out what the best things for the world are, for the whole world, for everything. If you were here long enough, how much wisdom can you gain? Like you're only here for an average of 70 something years, 75 years, you said, as a man.
Yeah.
How much knowledge are you going to be able to gain in 75 years to pass down to the next person? How much of that knowledge that you pass down are they going to retain to be able to gain for their life to gain up until they're 75 and then pass down and so on and so on? How much gets passed down? How much really gets retained? How much really gets figured out? So yeah, dude, if I could be the one person to like change the fucking world in a sense for the greater good, fuck yeah, I would choose immortality, but I would want to choose it for those reasons and the right reasons. If that was an option, are there people that could choose it for the wrong reasons? 100%.
If that was the case, what would you do? You're immortal. You're at this body,
Just live life.
live
You're
life.
immortal. I would just live life. Like, what are you going to do? You
Well,
have
this is
to.
what I'm asking you. Would you go out and try to fight crime and help? Like,
No, no, I would live life. I would try to figure out life as a whole. Because again, Rome isn't built in a day. You're given the gift of immortality. You have to realize that the fast game is not what's coming for you. So you're immortal. You're going to live for thousands of years. I'm just going to live my life. I'm going to live my life in different parts of the world. I'm going to figure out different cultures. I'm going to figure out different types of styles. I'm going to have 100 different families. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to outlive all of my
right.
families. Is it going to be sad every time? 100%. But that's the journey that you're choosing for the greater good.
Okay. What are you gonna do for money this whole time? Imagine like that's the
You're
case.
gonna
You got to
get
work
different
for the
job.
rest of your
Well, I
fucking
was gonna
life.
say you're gonna get different jobs. You're gonna have different careers. That's how you figure out. Again, how are you gonna figure out everything in the world?
Hmm.
I mean, and again, most of that stuff is like the simulated shit that we talk about being in front of or like whatever. But like, if you're immortal and at some point in the life you can figure out some way to get rich and be okay and find sustainability,
Sustainability.
yeah, that would be the goal too. You know what I mean? Because then at that point now, okay, now I can finish out living in the rest of these lives comfortable to figure out what I want to figure out for the world, for mankind, for whatever. So immortality for me would be in the sense of like, yeah, like the greater good. But no matter what, however, at your disposal, you could figure it out over time. Like it's up to you. If you choose immortality, you're choosing that responsibility. That's what that is to me. And
Okay.
again, some people wouldn't think that. Some people would choose it for evil.
If you had to guess, what do you think the most likely way you'll die will be?
I
I'll
don't know.
wait.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't even like to talk about it because I don't want to manifest that shit. So we'll skip that question, actually.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think it'll be from some type of accident.
You know what? That's usually the case in most.
I think for me, it'll be some type of like, not even in the sense just because I'm like clumsy and like all that, but like I do think it'll be some type of accident, something that was like sudden that
Yeah.
wasn't supposed to be, or like the what. No, I don't think it'll be a natural. That I don't see myself being old at 80 years old and fucking dying naturally. I just don't.
Hmm. Okay. Next question. How will you be remembered after you die?
Fucking hilarious.
Yo, that kid was mad funny, bro. You see his TikTok? Check out this last one. Yeah, no, he died in it, but look how funny it is.
No, in a more serious answer, genuine.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I At least that's what I'd hope to be.
I like
That's
to be
if there's
remembered as like a positive influence on people.
But if there's
If
one
I
word, like I was that's what I was gonna say before you said that. Like if there was just one word that people would be able to sum me up as, I would hope the most word that I would get from most people would be genuine.
I'll agree with that. I think so.
I think that's probably one of the best ways to be remembered. If you were true and genuine always,
There's
people
nothing better
can't
than
hate you
that.
for
Yeah,
that. Yeah, like people can't
that's
hate you
it.
for that. Like
He
he
was
was who he
real. He
was.
kept it
Yeah,
100.
exactly. He was who he was. He kept it 101 always.
What do you think humanity's reaction to the discovery of extraterrestrial life will be?
Fucking chaos,
You think so?
panic, and chaos. Absolutely. No matter how ready they try to put it in our face and make us ready for it, people are not going to be ready for that.
I know, because we have people like Joe, like, what no fucking way? What do you mean?
And
Other
people
life?
like that
What?
cause panic in a sense of when something like that happens. Like all you need is for a group of couple hundred people to see fucking something come down that they're not supposed to see. And in that group, all you need is one person to be like, monster. And that's it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like that's it. One scared person to be like, fucking crazy monster. Oh my God, what the fuck? Any of those things. And that's it. It starts to panic. Even for the
Absolutely.
people that were like on the teetering edge of like, wait. No, now they're gonna be in fucking panic because everybody else is fucking panicking. So I do believe that that'll be what it'll be no matter what, because exactly like you said, no matter what, at the end of the day, we still have people that are like Joe, which is what
Yeah. All right, I got another question. It's two-part.
they. Wait.
Go
Because
for
let me
it. Go
say
for
this.
it.
This is why, in that sense, this is what they want. When that happens, chaos happens. People aren't abiding by law
Whatever
or
the government's
following
going to tell
whatever
them.
or
Martial
what.
law.
Yeah, whatever they're supposed to do to keep them safe. Pew 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 pew. Oh, he wasn't doing what we said to keep him safe. We were trying to keep him safe, but he wasn't listening to us. He was being erratic and he wasn't whatever. Oh, he was
How
being
ironic is
crazy. He was
that?
talking whatever.
That
All of these
the
words that
people
we
who are trying to
use that have
keep you
set up.
safe are the ones who will ultimately bring down your
Exactly.
demise.
But they say that because that's what I'm saying. They're going to say, oh, we were trying to keep him safe, but he was being erratic. All these
Mhm.
words that they've set up throughout history to like use as deflective shields. You know what I mean? Like, and erratic is one of the biggest ones.
Do you think that art provides benefit to society? Does it hurt society?
Art,
Art.
I think art provides benefit. Absolutely.
Do you think that it um does it hurt society at all?
No, I think it opens people's eyes up to look at things through a different perspective.
Where is the line?
Art opens the mind.
Where is the line between art and not art?
What do you mean?
Does the line get blurred between what is art and what is not art?
Sometimes I think it depends on the artist and what they're trying to interpret. I think at the end of the day, everybody's art comes down to their own brain and their own perception of what they're trying to put out there. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes people get what you're trying to say, sometimes people don't.
So, as an artist, I'm going to put it out there and say that I think there is a line between art and not art. I think art itself is the creativity of something new or an original that has been made
Remastered.
better in some sense, you know? But then when I go to the museums and I see these fucking 20 by 20 canvases painted in all blue with a dot of red in the middle, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Because a lot of people are like, oh, my child could do that. Or, oh, this looks like anyone could do this. Well, that's not art. That's just a couple circles. It's not a matter of
It's
the
what that person
factuality
was
of it.
trying to interpret when they were
It's
saying.
the perception of what it is. Because
Mm.
everybody could look at the same picture and see a million different things.
But see,
That's what's so
exactly.
great about art.
That's
At
what I
the
was just say
same
is that
time,
all those comments that you just mentioned that people say is just their perception, which again is art. Because as many people that say those things about it, I'm sure there's other people that said different things about it. And that's what art is supposed to do. Art is supposed to, between the artist of the person that has made the painting and the perception of the person that's looking at it. There are so many different forms of art because there's ways to express art and then
correct.
there's ways to interpret art. So
I
there's
think, go
okay.
ahead.
No, I was just saying there's so many different forms.
I think that one of the most interesting quotes about art that I've ever saw was it was actually graffitied on the wall outside of my college school of visual arts, and it said art is supposed to make the comfortable uncomfortable and the uncomfortable comfortable. And I was
I
like,
like that.
that's fucking crazy. If you think deep into it, that's
Yeah.
something else.
I was just about to say it's deep. I like that.
um I think that art prevents benefits to people all over the place, but at the same time, other people will feel contradict contra,
Contradictory.
contradicted, something like that, because you have people painting naked people, and they're like, oh, well, that's not art, that's just whatever. But art is supposed to stir shit up. It's a matter of like I said, being uncomfortable but feeling comfortable by looking at this art. I don't know. I feel like
No,
that's
I
an
hear you.
interesting thing.
I
Um,
definitely hear that. I mean, that's what the best part about art is. And that's what makes art so valuable because it's all about attention, right? So, like, somebody paints something, somebody says something, or I mean, somebody says something, somebody paints something, somebody puts something up. People start saying things about it, people start talking about it, and like whatever. That art becomes more relevant or more expensive or whatever
Right.
because of the stir it had around it, because of
Mm-hmm.
the effect it had on people.
Controversy was the word I was looking for.
Yeah, exactly. Because of the controversy it builds, whether it's positive or negative, because controversy doesn't always have to be bad in a sense. Like if it's causing yeah, I guess controversy is always bad, but if it's causing I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but like a conversation, a debate, or whatever it is, you know what I mean? That's what art is supposed to be about. It's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be about the different interpretations. So if it is a debate or whatever it is about some certain painting, that's good. They're all the different perceptions. It can be more than one thing. You know,
This
like
is true.
somebody can
It could
own a
be a
piece of
million
art.
things.
Yeah, somebody can own a piece of art and interpret it one way and then sell it when they're like, oh, you know, I've had this for a long time, but you know, I want to move on to a different piece or like whatever. And they sell it and somebody else buys it and they think of it in a totally different way. It's fucking art.
Yep. Dude, at my
You
art
know?
show, I had my friend Rob. He bought like 8 paintings from me. He gave me $400 for it. And I was like, dude, thank you. He's like, bro, I know what art is worth. And he's like, and maybe you're not famous now. He's like, but I have these. So when you
Mhm.
are, I know how much it's going to be valued then.
Bro, I'm gonna say this now too, and I'm gonna cut you off. I don't care what else you had to say. I told you before the art show. I told you before the art show, dude, this painting is fucking dope. And you didn't fucking believe me. You're like, really? It's like some Bob Ross type shit. Yes, but people will love this. And everyone loved that painting at the gallery. Everyone went nuts over it. People actually were fighting over it about like, oh,
They
it was
did.
already bought. Damn it, fuck this,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
People were
The
trying to outbid
second
each other
one that
for
you
it.
made now that I've seen that nobody has seen for sale yet is even better because it has the same Bob Ross mountains feel and like the thing in the center of like whatever with your own splat crazy
Yeah.
like symmetrical artwork that you do on your own side within it all together. And I love it. I think it's fucking great. I think that is the first true Danny Esco design original art. I
Oh,
do. I
nice.
think that is the niche that you found that shows something throughout history that people have liked. That's something that's common, that shows something that is interesting that people will actually put up, hang up, and find that they like with your own twist on it. It has your twist. It has the things that you've been doing for how many years, how you've been painting it, how you've done that with something that the consumer likes as well mixed in. You
Mm.
found a way to blend the two. And bro, that one that you made, I think you should do 100 more like that. And I think you'd be fucking super famous because I think we'll do another gallery and you'll sell every fucking one.
Hell yeah.
I'm serious. I'm serious because I know you like you said it like that the first time we were talking about this, but you didn't think you were going to sell as many as you
No,
did
I
in that
didn't.
first
I
one
had no
either.
idea that that one painting was the one that everyone was raving about. And I was like, yo,
Nobody,
I'll sell it for $30. You were like, bro, what?
and I
People
bet you're
want to give me
surprised.
$300 for it. And I had already sold it, but I was like, whatever.
And I know you were surprised for how many that you sold that night. And those were like the
Mm-hmm.
real originals. And if those are the real originals that you're not even like, not to say it in a sense, but like doing anymore because you're doing these ones that are more like fan favorites and like whatever, those will become more fucking rare down the line. You start painting these things that are like, oh, the consumer friendly with your twist on it, blah, blah, blah. And these is what you become famous for. Guess what? His first art show that was ever public, original. These were the actual original pieces.
Yeah.
Once you become a personal favorite, those people that bought those for that exactly that was what would make those that real money, and you already have them numbered.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, dude. I'm sorry, I got off topic.
No, you're good. You're gravy, babe.
Sky's the limit, bro.
Hell yeah. Okay, so we'll wrap this up soon. I just got 2 more questions for you.
Yes, good.
Where do you think it is the most worth? No, never mind. What is the biggest? That's a good song. Was that Biggie Smalls? What is the biggest waste of human potential?
I'm sorry again. I just had to say that. I mean, I just had to play that because I was saying it.
What is the biggest waste of human potential?
Oh.
This right off the bat
The
reminds
saddest
me
thing
of
in life
Bronx
is
Tale.
wasted talent. Yeah.
100%. That's
That's
it.
what I was trying to get it right to make sure. I do believe that quote, and I do believe that that's a real quote for a reason. Like the
Yeah.
saddest thing in life is wasted talent. When you have a talent to do something better than other people, and you just let it go to waste, you don't use it. It's
Wasted
fucking sad.
talent.
Fucking sad.
Does jealousy have value in driving humans to improve themselves, or is
Yeah.
it purely just a negative emotion?
No, I think it has value. Same thing with like bullying and like things like that. Like I think it's negative in a sense, but it does have positive influence in a sense. Like I think that we've become as a whole so upset and affected with like the emotional side of the effect of like, oh my God, this is so negative, and focusing on like things like that to say like,
Hmm.
oh, this is so negative to do, don't do that. When there are some negative things that do have positive outcomes,
Right.
like again, I was bullied. It made me want to do things different or better or whatever to not get bullied in those certain ways. Now, does that make the bully right or a good person? No. Do they still deserve what they get? Absolutely. But that's part of the human chain too. Like we have our own food chain in the sense of like, are you going to end up being able to stand up to that bully? Is someone else going to stand up to that bully for you? At some point through time, karma will probably get that bully. That's that food chain. But that bully being there, did they make you tougher? Did they make you better? Did they make you
Hmm.
see things differently? Did they make you want to try harder? Did they make you not want to get bullied again? So,
That
yeah, are there
perspective.
positive and negatives to everything? Yeah, again, absolutely. Like it depends on how you fucking look at it. Like,
That's what I'm talking about, dog.
not to lie, like not for their whole fucking middle school and high school, but do I hope that there's like a year point in time where my kids get bullied a little bit? Yeah. Do I hope that they end up standing up to their bullies and fucking facing them? 100%. Will I help them through that, especially if they tell me about it? Absolutely.
That's like the very first question I asked you. Did the
But
struggles that you go through help you become the person you are?
exactly. But do I hope they went through that? Yeah. Was I bullied? Absolutely. Did it make me a better person? 100%. Did I struggle? 100. Did it make me a better person? Absolutely.
Also
Am I gonna
100.
fucking just give? Am I gonna just give them fucking everything? Yeah. When they fuck up, am I gonna take it away? 100. Why? Showing them the value, showing them the appreciation. You know, like I'll be there to give them as much as I can, but I'll be the first person to fucking take it away too.
Okay. Do you think it's possible to live a normal life and not ever tell a lie?
No, bro, we've both lied in our lifetimes.
I
Everyone
think
that's
lying
listening
is
to us has lied.
necessary.
I say
I
everybody
think
that's listened to
the
us has lied at one point. I think sometimes you lie just because you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings or
I think the
you want
level
to.
of lying,
Yeah, it
on the
depends on the
scale
intent. Yeah,
definitely does. Yeah.
it
I
depends on the
think
intent, the
lying to
maliciousness.
manipulate or get your way is bad, but I think, like you said, if a girl's like, "Does this dress make me look fat?" You'd be like, "No, babe, we talk about it. I don't even
I
know what."
wasn't even going like that, but like if there's something that that's a lie that is to not hurt someone but isn't going to harm them by telling the lie. Like if they
So
found out the
here's a
lie, is they
perfect
going to get upset?
example.
Absolutely, because they know you were lying. But by lying, does it benefit them to help them emotionally or to get through something or whatever? Are there certain times where lying is beneficial? Yes. And if you're a human that says no, that's wrong, or lying is never good, you're just being irrationally like, is
I
it
hear you.
bad to lie to the people that are close to you? Yes. If you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean?
So
Like
I
holding a
know this
surprise
person.
party, you're lying to someone. Like think
Well,
about the
okay, yeah,
extent,
that's
you know what
different.
I mean?
Yeah,
Like, but
yeah.
I'm saying you're lying to
No,
someone.
no,
Think
you're
about
right.
the
You're right.
extent, like so
Well,
it's all about the perception. It's always
here's a
about the perception.
here's a
And it's always
different
about the intent and it's
perception.
always about the fucking morals. Go ahead. Sorry. I
I
was gonna
feel
try
you.
and think of a different word that meant morals, but I just went with morals because I'm tipsy now.
I got you. So I know someone whose family member passed away, but their grandmother wasn't in the right state of mind when that happened, so they never told the grandmother that that person passed away. Eventually down the line, the grandmother like would ask where this person was, and they'd be like, "Oh, they're away, they're not around right now." Eventually the grandmother of the family passed away as well, and the family was able to rest a little bit easier because they didn't have to tell the grandmother that that person had passed away. Some lies are necessary and others aren't. If you're lying to someone to get out of something, or if you're lying to someone to benefit yourself, I think that's negative. And the last question I'm going to ask you is, does a person's name influence the person they become?
Say that again. Does a person's
Does the
name influence?
person's name influence the person they become?
What do you mean? Like who you're named after? Does that influence you?
Not
Like in a
even
sense of
who, but
like,
like, does your name, like, there's some people you'll meet in life and you go, wow, that's a strong name, like whatever the case is. And then there's like fucking,
yeah, I guess to a sense.
like, and no offense to anybody who's named this, but the name Toby, that doesn't sound like a strong it doesn't sound like a strong name to me.
I am Toby.
Like, hey, what's up? I'm Toby. It's like, it's a real, you could be a nice person, you're sweet, but
Yeah, like
I don't
Logan's
think
a strong name.
that, you know what I mean? Like, or like, for instance, my last name growing up, it's a really good doctor name, or a lawyer name. I didn't amount to that yet, but I have my own purpose for my name, like, I went from my last name to Danny Esco, and I feel like I've created Danny Esco as a personality of me,
I hear you.
so when people
The
say
artist.
Danny Esco, the artist, right, the creator,
Yeah, I
the
hear you.
original, something like that.
Yeah, let's get on these fucking content clips, bro. What happened to our Peter Pan shit? Yeah, I
Hush
said
on
it.
the Peter Pan shit.
I said it. No, I said it.
All right, well, we haven't fucking gotten
Calling you
time
out,
to
bitch.
call me out, bro. I was the one who brought up the idea. It's you
Well,
I'm
how
waiting
come
on.
it's like a couple months we haven't done shit?
It's literally been like 3 weeks.
Nah, it's been longer than
It
that.
was after Thanksgiving.
It's the end.
Okay, whatever the case may be, that's that. So this. I'm asking you some philosophical questions, and you had some really good answers. I'm very
I did.
impressed. Frank, you did great.
Thank you.
Proud of you. Now, there was no score on this test
I
or
think I'm
anything like
very
that.
wisdomous. I don't even remember what that's from right now, but I know it's a line from a movie. But I am
Tis
very
what it is.
wisdomous.
That's it. So, you got anything else you want to add to this?
Just people need to go out and do better. I think overall, if you're going out and you're like most New Yorkers are the type of person to go out and be like, oh yeah, I'm an asshole. It is what it is. My dad's an asshole and I'm an asshole. And like they like proud of being an
Yeah,
asshole. I think that mindset is just fucking stupid.
I
I
think it's
think that
overrated, and it's
yeah, and I think it's outplayed. Like
yeah, that's the word I was going to use.
I think that like we need to do better as a whole.
I know
Even like
that
the other day, I made a TikTok that like some Eagles fan
I
was
saw it.
laughing at Dak Prescott and saying like, "Oh, my mom got me this. Like, it's nice to have a mom." Like, dude, like you're not
That's
talking shit about
insensitive.
somebody to football. Like, you're talking about a man who lost his mom. Like, I know you're trying to be an Eagles fan to a Cowboys fan, but you had nothing to say about football. You're talking to a man that lost his mom. Like, and I know that all of us wish that there was somebody that was back here that we could fucking talk to one more time, whether it was a parent, a grandparent, a fucking loved one, a close one, a sibling, a fucking whoever.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, like shout out to all of those fucking people because
The thing
that's
is, to piggyback on what you're saying, and not to cut you off,
oh
but
again.
you're saying people need to be better. And I agree with you
Yeah.
on that. But there's a lot of people out there who are like, man, I'm fucking trying my best. And you got me out here like, wow, this is my best. I need to fucking do better. So it's a matter of perception, but it also has to do with your output towards society. Can you be a better person in general? Yeah, everybody can. There's some things that people are really great at. There's also some things that everyone needs improvement on. And that's what it is. Can you be a more positive person? Can you help other people be where you are? The
If
best way
you
to be a leader is to reach your hand out to bring your team with you.
if you are a listener that has made it to this point in the episode right now, I'm going to tell you, follow me on TikTok. My name is Frank Pop on TikTok or Frank Papalardo. But Frank Pop, just like how it is in the podcast, you will find me. You'll see my picture. Every morning for 30 minutes on Eastern time, usually somewhere around like 8 to 9 o'clock in the morning, I go live and I do these morning motivational videos. If you even want to, slightly interested, already believe in any of the stuff that we're talking about like that, come hop in my live, talk with me for a little bit, talk with some of my other followers. Here's some of the shit that I put out on some of these morning motivational videos. I'm telling you, they have changed my fucking life. The way that my perception on things in the last 6 months to a year from listening to these things before I go work out, before I start my day, before I whatever it is, it fucking helps. I'm telling you, if you even believe a little part of what we said tonight, if you have made it this far, it means that you actually were trying to listen to what we were saying. Come fucking join in, and I promise you I will try to help motivate everybody towards positivity.
Bro, what you just said is beautiful, but can I tell you that you said if you've made it this far, I'm thinking you're in like a Gandalf outfit with a staff and a
No,
hat,
I
and you're
mean,
like, if you've
because
come this far on your
no, because
journey,
we're
follow
like an
me on
hour.
TikTok.
We're like an hour and 5 minutes in now. Like, if you were listening to this episode and you actually made it to the hour and 5 minute mark, and you didn't like cut it off, or you didn't have to let go, or you didn't get lose interest or whatever, and you made
We
it this
appreciate
far,
that.
yes. And that means that you were that interested in this topic. And I'm serious. If that means that that's the stuff that you're interested in, that's stuff you want to hear, I do it every morning on TikTok, Eastern time, between 8 and 9 o'clock in the morning. I am live for about 30 to 40 minutes.
Morning Motivation by Frank Pop and fam.
That's honestly, that's what I've been trying to do, dude.
That's
Like, you
it.
spread positivity to me, I'm just trying to do it to other people, paying it
I
forward.
love that about you.
That's it, bro.
I love you, Frank.
You get me to believe in something, I support it. That's it.
That's
Love you
it,
too,
dog.
bro.
All right, cool. Well, this is fun. I'm glad that you were
Bro,
interested in
honestly,
this
I'm
because I
with
had
this.
to.
Like, give me some fucking philosophical questions every time. Let's start this fucking show as a motivational show. I'm with it. Let's go. Let's get people
Let's
motivated
go.
to do better in 2023.
That's it, baby.
This is the year of us. Let's go.
Well, thank you all for the likes, listens, shares, and follows. We appreciate your support.
Woo! I sound like a big choo-choo train. Woo! I'm sorry.
Yo, you're gonna wake up your kids, man. All right. Thank you so much. Have a good night.